Roger, LF. Understand you are on the bottom. Congratulations, Victor. Congratulations.
Well done. Beginning exploration of the bottom.
More than 11 kilometers beneath the surface of the Pacific Ocean lies the deepest place on Earth, the Mariana Trench. Down there, the pressure is over 1,000 times greater than what you feel right now. The water is only a few degrees above freezing, and sunlight has never reached these depths. For decades, scientists believed almost nothing could survive in such an extreme environment. It seemed like a place completely beyond the limits of life. But when humans and deep-sea robots finally reached the bottom, they discovered something that changed science forever. The deepest place on Earth wasn't empty. It was alive. Everything about the Mariana Trench suggests that life should be impossible. Temperatures remain just above freezing, the pressure is crushing, and complete darkness has lasted for millions of years. There are no plants and no sunlight to produce food. The only source of energy comes from tiny particles drifting down from the surface, a slow shower scientists call marine snow. Occasionally, the body of a dead whale sinks to the bottom, creating a temporary feast that can support deep-sea creatures for years. Because food is so scarce, researchers once believed the trench was almost lifeless. But nobody had actually seen the bottom with their own eyes, until one historic mission changed everything. In 1960, two explorers attempted something no human had ever done before. Jacques Picard and Don Walsh climbed into the bathyscaphe Trieste and began a 5-hour descent toward Challenger Deep. As the submarine sank, the pressure increased with every meter. At nearly 9,000 meters, one of the outer windows cracked with a loud bang. The crew continued anyway. Finally, they reached the deepest point on Earth. But the moment the submarine touched the seafloor, it stirred up thick clouds of sediment, leaving them with almost no visibility. After only 20 minutes at the bottom, they began the long journey back to the surface, leaving behind more questions than answers. After the historic Trieste mission, no human returned to Challenger Deep for more than half a century. Scientists relied on robotic vehicles instead, hoping they could reveal what humans could not. Some reached the bottom and captured valuable images, while others were destroyed by the crushing pressure before completing their missions. Every failure was a reminder that the deepest ocean remained one of the most dangerous places on Earth. Then researchers came up with a much simpler idea. Instead of sending people down, they would leave powerful cameras on the seafloor and wait to see what emerged from the darkness. That decision changed everything. Scientists built a new type of deep-sea explorer. Instead of sending people, they lowered autonomous cameras carrying lights, sensors, and bait to the ocean floor. The cameras remained there for hours before returning automatically to the surface. Researchers expected to record only a few isolated animals, but within minutes, movement appeared from the darkness. Then another, then dozens more. Huge shrimp-like creatures called amphipods rushed toward the bait from every direction. The supposedly empty trench was suddenly filled with life. It became clear that the deepest place on Earth wasn't a biological desert at all. It was home to a thriving ecosystem that had remained hidden for millions of years. The creatures surrounding the bait weren't ordinary shrimp. They were giant amphipods, some growing more than 10 times larger than their shallow water relatives. Scientists believe the freezing temperatures, enormous pressure, and slow metabolism allow these animals to live longer and grow much larger than similar species near the surface. Using an incredible sense of smell, they can detect food from remarkable distances, even in complete darkness. As soon as they arrived, hundreds competed fiercely, stripping the bait within hours. Their behavior revealed something unexpected. These weren't isolated survivors barely hanging on. They were members of a healthy, active community. And even more surprising creatures were still waiting to be discovered. For years, scientists believed no fish could survive below about 8,200 meters. The pressure was simply too extreme for a vertebrate. Then everything changed. Deep-sea cameras captured a small, ghostly snailfish swimming calmly at a depth where experts believed fish shouldn't exist. Later studies revealed incredible adaptations hidden inside its body. Its bones were softer, its cells resisted crushing pressure, and special molecules protected its proteins from collapsing. Instead of fighting the environment, the fish had evolved to live with it. What was once considered a biological limit suddenly became just another obstacle that evolution had quietly overcome. The deeper scientists explored, the stranger the ecosystem became. Giant single-celled organisms rested across the seafloor, providing shelter for smaller animals. Sea cucumbers slowly crawled through the sediment, feeding on tiny traces of organic material that had fallen from the surface. In some areas, bacteria created entire food chains without sunlight, using chemicals rising from cracks in the Earth's crust as their energy source. It was a completely different way for life to exist. Instead of depending on the sun, this hidden world survived through chemistry alone. The Mariana Trench wasn't just supporting life, it had built an ecosystem unlike anything found anywhere else on our planet. More than 50 years after the first historic dive, humans finally returned to Challenger Deep. In 2012, filmmaker and explorer James Cameron completed the first solo descent to the bottom, capturing stunning images of a landscape unlike anything ever seen before. Years later, explorer Victor Vescovo reached the trench again with an even more advanced submersible, spending hours exploring the seafloor. Their expeditions produced the clearest maps and highest quality footage ever recorded. They also confirmed something scientists had only suspected for years. The deepest place on Earth was far more active and biologically rich than anyone had imagined. But among all the discoveries, one finding shocked researchers more than any strange creature ever could. Scientists expected to find strange animals at the bottom of the Mariana Trench. They did not expect to find human trash. During recent expeditions, explorers discovered plastic bags, food wrappers, and other debris resting nearly 11 kilometers below the surface. Later studies revealed something even more alarming. Tiny microplastics were found inside deep-sea amphipods collected from the trench. The same currents that carry food into the abyss also transport pollution. Even the most remote place on Earth had already been contaminated by human activity. It was a powerful reminder that nowhere on our planet is truly untouched anymore. The discoveries inside the Mariana Trench changed more than marine biology. They also transformed the search for life beyond Earth. Scientists now believe that if complex ecosystems can survive in complete darkness without sunlight, similar environments may exist beneath the frozen oceans of distant moons like Europa and Enceladus. These worlds contain vast underground oceans that could be powered by the same chemical reactions found in Earth's deepest trenches. That is why NASA and other space agencies study the Mariana Trench so closely. It may be the closest natural laboratory we have for understanding what alien life could actually look like. As incredible as these discoveries are, scientists believe they have explored only a tiny fraction of the Hadal Zone. More than 80% of the world's deepest ocean trenches remain largely unexplored. Every new expedition uncovers strange organisms, unexpected behaviors, and new questions that challenge everything researchers thought they knew. Even the Mariana Trench itself has not been fully mapped. Vast areas of its floor and steep walls remain hidden beneath complete darkness. The deeper scientists look, the more they realize that Earth's largest habitat is also its least understood. And the next expedition could reveal something no one has ever imagined. As incredible as these discoveries are, scientists believe they have explored only a tiny fraction of the Hadal Zone. More than 80% of the world's deepest ocean trenches remain largely unexplored. Every new expedition uncovers strange organisms, unexpected behaviors, and new mysteries that challenge everything researchers thought they knew. Even the Mariana Trench itself has not been fully mapped. Vast regions remain hidden beneath endless darkness. But perhaps the greatest mystery isn't what lives down there, it's how anything can possibly survive under such unimaginable pressure. And the answer begins with one of the greatest engineering achievements ever built. Reaching the bottom of the Mariana Trench is one of the greatest engineering challenges on Earth. At those depths, the pressure is so immense that an ordinary submarine would collapse instantly. To survive, deep-sea submersibles are built with incredibly thick pressure spheres made from titanium or specially engineered steel. Their rounded shape spreads the force evenly across the hull, preventing weak points from forming. Every window, bolt, and seal must withstand thousands of tons of pressure. One tiny failure would cause an implosion in less than a second. In the deepest ocean on Earth, survival depends not only on courage, but on flawless engineering. It's difficult to imagine what the pressure at Challenger Deep really means. At nearly 11 kilometers below the surface, every square inch is squeezed by more than 8 tons of force. That's enough to crush most submarines, vehicles, and even solid metal structures in an instant. A human could never survive there without a specially designed pressure vessel. Yet the animals living at the bottom experience these conditions every second of their lives. Instead of resisting the pressure, their bodies have evolved to work with it. In the deepest ocean on Earth, what would instantly destroy us has simply become a normal part of everyday life. Despite decades of exploration, scientists have examined only a tiny fraction of the deepest oceans. Large areas of the Mariana Trench remain unmapped, and every new expedition reveals organisms no one has seen before. Modern robots, advanced sonar systems, and autonomous underwater vehicles are making exploration easier than ever, but the abyss continues to surprise researchers with every mission. The deepest ocean is no longer viewed as an empty void. Instead, It has become one of the most important frontiers in science, holding answers about Earth's past, the limits of life, and perhaps even the possibility of life beyond our planet. Every expedition into the Mariana Trench answers one question but raises many more. Scientists continue to discover new species, unusual adaptations, and ecosystems that challenge our understanding of life itself. With each improvement in underwater technology, cameras travel deeper, stay longer, and reveal places no human has ever seen before. Many researchers believe the greatest discoveries are still ahead. Somewhere beneath the crushing pressure and endless darkness, entirely new forms of life may still be waiting to be found. The deepest ocean on Earth has not given us all its secrets, not even close. For centuries, humanity looked toward the stars searching for the unknown. Yet one of the greatest mysteries has always been much closer to home. Most of the deep ocean remains unexplored, hidden beneath crushing pressure and endless darkness. Every expedition reveals new creatures, new ecosystems, and new questions that no one expected. The Mariana Trench reminds us that our own planet still holds secrets capable of changing science forever. If the deepest place on Earth can surprise us this much, imagine what may still be waiting in the darkness, untouched and unseen, until the next mission finally reaches it. The Mariana Trench has completely changed the way scientists think about life. What was once believed to be an empty abyss is now known to contain thriving ecosystems, extraordinary adaptations, and species found nowhere else on Earth. Yet every expedition reminds us of one simple fact: we have explored only a tiny fraction of our own oceans. Countless mysteries remain hidden beneath the darkness, waiting for the next discovery. Perhaps the greatest secrets of our planet aren't on distant worlds at all. Perhaps they've been lying silently beneath our feet all along. So, which discovery surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoy uncovering the hidden mysteries of our world, don't forget to subscribe for the next journey into the unknown.